Уважаемые дамы и господа, мы только что завершили работу.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, the 8th ministerial meeting of the Russia-Gulf Cooperation Council Strategic Dialogue, which has traditionally been held in a frank, business-like, constructive manner, has just concluded. The strategic dialogue format was launched in 2011. Today, it has once again confirmed its high demand as an effective mechanism for strengthening foreign policy coordination between the Russian Federation and the 6 Arab states. We discussed in detail the entire range of our bilateral and international issues. Various aspects of trade, economic, cultural, and humanitarian ties were discussed in detail. They noted a significant expansion of cooperation in the fields of industry, energy, agriculture, transport, healthcare, education, tourism, and banking. We welcome the further expansion of mutual trade turnover. Since 2011, when our strategic dialogue actually started, it has grown more than 7-fold. There is also a positive trend in investments by the member states of the Cooperation Council for the Arab states of the Persian Gulf in the Russian economy. Their accumulated volume has now exceeded $26 billion. It is encouraging that the counterflow of Russian investments to the Gulf countries is increasing at the same time. We agreed to continue efforts to strengthen these positive trends using all available opportunities, primarily the intergovernmental commissions that we have with each of the 6 countries, as well as through business councils. We have agreed to prepare for the 9th meeting of our strategic dialogue, which will take place in the Gulf region, without losing momentum in the near future. At the suggestion of the Secretary General of the Cooperation Council, we will form a working group that will prepare specific initiatives for the next round of our strategic dialogue in the near future. Today, we once again confirmed the importance of maintaining effective coordination in the OPEC+ format and through the Gas Exporting Countries Forum. We proceed from our common interest in maintaining the stability of global oil markets, as well as in ensuring the legitimate interests of gas exporters. We discussed the international and regional agenda in detail. They confirmed the convergence or significant proximity of approaches regarding ways to resolve crisis phenomena in the Middle East and beyond. This mainly concerns the unconditional observance of the cornerstone principles of the UN Charter in their entirety and interrelationship. This is exactly what we see as the way to successfully and sustainably resolve any conflicts that persist in the region and other parts of the globe. Special emphasis was placed on the need to resolve the central Palestinian problem in the region. We are deeply outraged by another round of escalation in the Middle East as a result of the airstrike on Doha, the capital of the state of Qatar, on September 9th. We unequivocally condemn this Israeli action. They emphasize the inadmissibility of repeating such actions against sovereign states under any pretext. They stressed that an armed attack on the country, which is one of the key mediators in the indirect negotiations between Israel and Hamas, the mediator on the terms of the ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, will only undermine international efforts to find peaceful solutions. They also noted the elementary lack of logic in Israel's actions. It is absurd to demand that Hamas fulfill the conditions for achieving a truce, while betting on the destruction of its leadership and the negotiators themselves. All this was done despite the repeatedly stated interest of the United States of America, as Israel's closest ally, in making the negotiations between Israel and Hamas a success. A joint statement was adopted on this topic today, which will be distributed to representatives of the media and posted on relevant resources. We have confirmed our consistent position in principle that achieving a comprehensive and long-term settlement of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict is possible only on a valid international legal basis based on the principle of two states. Otherwise, this is our common opinion, there will be no peace in the Middle East. Such a situation with a gross violation of the rights of the Palestinian people will only fuel extremist tendencies in all countries of the region. We are determined to continue to work closely with our Arabian partners in the Middle East in all its aspects. The situation here is not limited to Palestine alone. They also talked about what is happening in Syria, Yemen, Libya, and Sudan. Our common opinion is that it is necessary to continue consolidated efforts in order to work out compromise political solutions to existing problems and contradictions, taking into account the interests of all parties involved and relevant on Security Council resolutions. We discussed the situation in the Persian Gulf region. We are interested in initiatives that are being discussed within the Cooperation Council to stabilize the situation here, including the normalization of relations with the Islamic Republic of Iran. We are ready to support these efforts to the extent that the parties are interested. We were reminded today of the main elements of the Russian concept of collective security in the Persian Gulf zone. For several years now, it has been discussed at the level of the Ministries of Foreign Affairs with the involvement of the expert and academic community. We are ready to work with all interested regional and non-regional countries to develop approaches to ensuring stability and security in this region, with the understanding that the decisive word should belong to the states of this strategically important region themselves. Russia proceeds from the fact that the establishment of an atmosphere of peace and cooperation in the Gulf zone would be best combined with the spirit of the initiative put forward by Russian President Vladimir Putin to create a Eurasian security architecture based on the principle of indivisibility of security for all countries of our common, vast Eurasian continent. Special attention was paid to the first ever Russian-Arab summit in Moscow on October 15. We are glad that most of the heads of the GCC member states have already accepted the invitation to this important event. We consider today's meeting as an important stage in the preparation of the summit. Of course, we talked about the situation in Ukraine. We shared our assessments of the latest developments, including in the light of the Russian-American talks held in Alaska. We have felt and continue to feel the desire of the United States to understand the root causes of this conflict, to understand them and to promote a settlement model that will eliminate what led to the current situation. I am referring to attempts to drag Ukraine into the North Atlantic Alliance, including by organizing a coup d'etat in February 2014, and attempts by the Ukrainian regime to legally ban everything Russian, thereby undermining the legitimate rights of a huge number of residents of Crimea, Donbas, and Novorossiya, in violation of the requirements of the UN Charter, that human rights must be respected independently. It depends on race, gender, religion, and language. Language and religion. These are precisely what the current regime in Kiev has outlawed with respect to Russian-speaking and ethnic Russian citizens of Ukraine. This is an unprecedented act. Nowhere else in the world is any language prohibited, not Hebrew in Arab states, nor Arabic in Israel. The Kiev regime has sought to outdo all others in this regard.
Вот. Ну и, конечно, мы благодарны нашим друзьям с Аравийского полуострова за взвешенную позицию.
We are grateful to our friends on the Arabian Peninsula for their balanced stance on the Ukrainian crisis, which they have maintained from the outset and reaffirmed today. We value the efforts of GCC member states to facilitate humanitarian solutions stemming from the crisis, including the repatriation of children to their families.
Ну и, конечно, в заключение я хотел бы поблагодарить наших аравийских партнеров за эту
In closing, I would like to thank our Arab partners for this productive collaboration. I hope you will still find time to explore the sights of the beautiful city of Sochi.
И, безусловно, мы продолжим тесное партнерское взаимодействие, включая, как я уже сказал,
We will undoubtedly continue our close partnership, preparing for the next round of the strategic dialogue, which is set to take place in 2026 in one of the GCC member states.